I don't think they cared. They were drunk most of the time, and what we found is that most of the clubs, what they really wanted was danceable music. They didn't care whether you played your own, and they sometimes even turned their nose up at your own music because it wasn't recognizable. They were drunk and they wanted, Louie Louie was what they wanted.
There were certain fans that wanted to go to certain clubs and listen to copy tunes and get drunk and just listen to that kind of music.
Locally here, the club scene paid the bills so that creative people could go back home, write good music, and record it. I don't think the people here were that interested in listening to the recorded music until REO hit big.
You could get away without playing covers because the students down here everyone was there. Everyone's minds were opening, and the influence of the California music scene and
exactly right.
Was heavy, and the British invasion, and so it got to the point where if you didn't have original material, that separated you. You were in a kind of a lower echelon. There were some good cover bands down here, but unless you could play a full set of originals, you were kind of like, it's kind of cheesy. And once you could fill a whole set with all original songs that people reacted to, then that was kind of the rite of passage. And REO was one of the first bands that was able to pull that off.
Right.
Really.
And even the cover songs we did were different ones than everybody was doing. People were doing the beer drinking music like Hi-O Silver and Louie Louie, and we were doing things by the Doors and Hendrix that people had never even heard yet.
Right.
Because music didn't go from one end of the country to the other instantly. It would take a while for word to filter down about the West Coast bands and some of the British bands. So we were doing Light My Fire before it was a single. People thought that was our song.
Right. That was that's true.
So it was our choice of the cover songs we did do.
Right, they
were
weren't top 40.
educational. People did,
Right.
That wasn't mainstream at all. It was what they then called underground radio.
Right.
It's almost the easier way to do it because it's so much more accessible, and you're not challenging people to have to discover something new when they're just out to have a good time. And I totally understand that. And there are some great bands in town playing great cover music and making a lot of money and putting on great shows.
But people seem to like the original material. I mean, and when we finish these songs and they all clap, I'm like, but we wrote that. And you're right. I guess they really, they maybe that's part of how the music got informed in terms of its quality, was that, okay, you can write your own stuff, but it better be worth listening to. So that's pretty cool.
We could put a band together and we could go out and play cover music and sell a lot of beer and make people dance and make a lot of money. But I think the people that are like writing their own music and they're just taking it to the next level because that's what they do. They're into the music so much. I'm not saying that that's not bad to go out and play, because like some people I just like to play. I may not be the person to write songs, but I like to go out and play. Well, that's great too. But then I think if you're really serious about it, and you want to really be creative, you take it to the next level. You start writing your own music, and hopefully, people will pick up on it and they like it, and that makes you feel good too.
That of bands writing their own music here, and of support for original music, and places like WEFT and WPGU playing that music. It doesn't have to be something national. It doesn't have to be a cover. It's sort of strange if you look at something like the Chicago Reader and you look at the bands that are playing. I mean, that's a huge city, but so many of the bands seem to be, a tribute to this, a tribute to that, the copy bands, and I really think that the scene here is fantastic and lively in its way, and it's just nice to see so many people doing their own thing and just writing their own music, going their own way.
From my perspective, it is everything about live performing. I mean, the acceptance and appreciation and support of original music and of live original music specifically. Kind of the minority of the minority. I mean, getting people to come out to shows takes a lot of effort, but it also takes good songs and a good show. And if you get all those things, then you can see why it's so appealing.